You know, it is so interesting when we begin to look at these letters that Paul wrote to the different churches that he dearly loved. But this one that he wrote to Philippi. And this morning, I'm going to say this one that he wrote to Newfound. Okay? Now I'm going to put it on a personal basis for you. This is Paul talking to you with the words that God in heaven put in his mind and his heart to say to you. I thank my God in all my remembrance of you always, offering prayer with joy in my every prayer for you all, in view of your participation in the gospel from the first day until now. That is awesome. From the day that your church started. From the day that the very idea was in your head and hearts to put this church together, God has been there with you in his heart, thinking about everything that you were saying, everything that you were doing, everything that you were teaching. And the Apostle Paul was right there thanking God for you. Man, that is something really awesome. The man I consider to be the premier apostle is telling you that he thanks God for you and all of his remembrance of you. Not just those little guys in Philippi who supported him like you won't believe. Everything that he said, did, needed, anything, Philippi was right there. Between them and Thessalonica, you can't find any two churches that were stronger. But this morning, as I said, I'm putting it on a personal note for you. You here at Newfound, he is thankful for you, each and every one of you. From the shepherds down to all of us servants, he's thankful for each and every one of us. For I am confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work in you will perfect it until the day of Jesus Christ. For it is only right for me to feel this way about you all because I have you in my heart, since both in my imprisonment and in the defense and confirmation of the gospel, you are partakers of grace with me. No matter what befalls Paul, no matter what comes along his way, 2,000 years later, you are participants in it. You share in every stripe that is on Paul's back. And how many times did he receive the required amount of lashes? I believe it's 39 minus 1, something like that. 4 times. I believe is what the gospel says. You share in every single one of those. Every time Paul hit his knees to speak to the Father in heaven, you share in all of that, no matter what it was. Every blessing that Paul asked for, every intercession for every single person that is a member of the body, you share. It's amazing to see that, like I said, the man that I consider to be the premier apostle, the premier preacher, the premier evangelist, the guy that can't anybody else touch. I don't care how good they are. I wish that I could just be a thimble on his back in being able to deliver the Lord's word. When Paul spoke, people listened, and he won't EF up. It was Paul the apostle. For God is my witness how I long for you all with the affection, the affection, there's no L in there, of Christ Jesus. And this I pray, that your love may abound still more and more in real knowledge and all discernment, so that you may approve the things that are excellent, in order to be sincere and blameless until the day of Christ. You know, that day is coming for everybody. We Christians and then them other fellows on the outside. And I don't necessarily always mean the inside of the door, but outside the family of God. There's a day, but that's only my idea, my interpretation of what it is. And all I can tell you is that those outside of the body, boy, are they in worship. I mean, man, the foundations of the world are going to move. They're going to shake, and things like that are going to happen. And people are going to be running around yelling magic. Yeah, right. It's magic, all right. But when the holy God that created all of this universe says enough is enough, then it's like we used to say when I was a teenager, cave bottom gold. Because, I mean, it is going to shake like you won't believe it. Things are going to change. And everybody's going to have to stand in front of him. And when he opens up the book, every single thing that you've ever done, every skeleton that's in your closet is going to get fleshed out. It is going to be coming on out there to tell you all about it and everybody else. And ain't nowhere you can run. You know, the Bible tells us that some of them are going to look at the rocks and yell, fall on us. So what? If they fall on you, God's just going to move them so you can stand in your place in line and hear it all read. There's no hiding. Now, you want to talk about the difference. The ones of us that are in the family, the ones of us that belong to Jesus Christ, he's going to look at us and say, what did you do for my kingdom? And he's going to have robes and crowns and mansions on high. I'll take the first shack right beside the door. Just get there. I'm serious about that, man. I want to be there so bad. Every time my heart aches a little bit, I start looking. See? And you know, God only asks us to do one thing. He said, keep my commandments. And then he turned around and refined it for us. You know, his disciples that had no idea who they were talking to. You know, they really didn't. They'd been up on the mountain with him. They'd been in the valley with him. They'd been out on the water with him. They'd been around crowds. They'd seen him feed 5,000 one time, 4,000 another time, and all of this kind of stuff. And they had no idea still who they were dealing with. And they asked him questions like, well, Lord, when's the end going to be? When can we go get with you? Thomas was a real ringer. You know, I ain't going to believe until I see and touch. And then the Lord comes in and says, blessed are those who do not see, but yet they believe. Man, I mean, you know, there are so many things that our Father speaks to us through Paul, through John, through Matthew, Mark, Luke. All of those speaks to everyone. Even Jude didn't have a whole lot to say, but he spoke through him. Now John, he put a task on